Hello and welcome to another episode of the Drop In CEO podcast. I'm Deb Coviella, your host, and I am just so grateful you've joined us because week after week I have the distinct honor of using this platform to share my insights with you and hopefully inspire you. And just know I do this for the C suite leader of today and tomorrow to help you navigate your challenges, your opportunities with confidence. And again, it is my distinct pleasure to hopefully provide you some value this week. But I am going to start with a quick story. If you've been following my solo series in order, I was so excited. I was going to go to a Bonspiel this weekend with three other amazing women. The Bonspiel is a curling tournament. And we were supposed to go to Detroit with my friend Barbara, who is about 60. Myself, I am in my 50s. Julia, who I think is 40ish, and Krista, who is 20 to 30th. And there's a reason for me sharing these ages, but I will have to say I am sad that at the last minute I was so sick and had to find a sub or skip for the team as I was the captain. And luckily, Krista found Bethany to take the team. And while they did not come away victorious, the picture of them smiling ear to ear was priceless. And so the team's ages extended from the 20s to the 60s. Curling is a sport for any age to enjoy the sportsmanship, the sport of it all, and even victory. And I'm grateful for the practice we had leading up to the event, leveraging their strengths and giving them the confidence to say, we can do this. But the greater opportunity is, and this is why I wonder, is why can't we have this same relationship in business? Success through collaboration, whether you're 20 or 60. We sometimes talk about the impatient 20-year-olds who are going to move on in 2 years, so why invest in them? They're not loyal, they're not going to stick around. And we blame the 60-year-old for their command and control leadership style. And then the people that are 50 who might be playing it safe and not speaking up for fear of the stigma of ageism being their demise, and they want to stay under the radar. So unfortunately, we lose much of their value and their legacy. And so I say, this is such a shame. And then I reflect on my friend Phyllis Wise Hazaro, who is an expert in generational relationships and communication, who will be back on my show very shortly. And we are going to learn how we can learn from each other and amplify our impact. Phyllis is many years wise in her area and years younger than me in her vivacious energy. And so I'm going to stay with the age topic a little bit more so you can understand where this is going to eventually go. And there is another wise 20-year-old who I interviewed, 20, almost 30, my son Dan, who I asked in an interview about 2 years ago what is so important to his generation. And he just said they want to be heard and respected. Maybe have a seat at the table when it comes to setting policy and creating the future that they're going to live in. And hence, he's done some amazing stuff at the global, national and global level. And I'll just tell you, this is another thing that happened this past week. A colleague of mine who was sitting in on my webinar, Your Lean Year, where we talk about lean, effective communications, clear accountability, and nurturing the future leaders. And see what this stands for, LEAN, lean. There's a theme here this year about lean and the different elements that are critical to supporting your business. I'm going to hone in on the nurturing, though, of future leaders. When we got done with this whole entire presentation series, and the nurturing of the future leaders really, really resonated with him, he did say to me, and I really appreciate his feedback, he said, keep beating the drum. Keep beating that drum. Your words need to be heard. And so I appreciate sharing a little bit of that with you, because there's one more quick story. Because again, as I take you on a journey, I'm also sharing with you some of my stories and insights and why this topic that I'm going to get up to really soon in the area of mentorship is really, really important. Finally, my friend Lauren, okay, I bring in the curling world a little bit. She was my vice. The vice is like the almost the captain, and they help guide the shot when it's my turn to throw. And so she said to me, said, Deb, you can make this shot. And I said, no, I can't. She was asking me to do something really crazy in a championship game. And she said, trust me. She said, trust me. And so miraculously, I made the shot and put our opponent on the fence. And she later came to me and said, you know, you can make those shots. It's just in your head, and you need to get back your confidence. And so I will tell you, with a little bourbon encouragement and listening to a younger curler, I can now look at these same shots and say, yes, I can. So what does all this rambling mean? I know I was going to get someplace, and yeah, maybe I am a little bit in a antihistamine stupor as I am trying to get away from this cold and get my voice back. The point is, mentorship is ageless. I'll say it again. Mentorship is ageless. Gone are the days of thinking it is someone older and wiser that can cascade advice. The best advice can come from someone younger than us or even a peer. And the key is we need to be open to listening and receiving mentorship wherever it may come from. If we lead with a mindset that mentorship can come from anyone, regardless of age, cross generationally, I'm going to work with Phyllis to get this right. Cross generationally, we can all reap the benefit of being open to receiving from anyone who cares to give us sound advice. And given that insight, might we set up mentorship based programs or initiatives or integrate them already into our ways of working based on wisdom and perspective versus assignment based on age? I really want you to think about that. It is a different type of thinking. I mean, how often have you listened to your kids or nieces and nephews and you say, oh my, they say the darndest things? On the other hand, if you take a moment to reflect, they speak the truth. They have a completely different perspective, and they might open up your eyes to thinking differently. I mean, how often, and I hope this doesn't happen to too many of you, but somebody might say to a parent, Mommy, Daddy, I said, can you come to my baseball game? And you say, oh, I'll get there. I'm pretty busy with work. But if you really listen to what they're saying, is that they just want to be with you. They just want to share time with you. They want to make you proud. And they're telling you basically life is short. Please take advantage of it now. And so wisdom can come with any age. Might your organization be richer if you looked at mentorship through a different lens? And lastly, if you haven't cultivated a cross-generational mentorship program, could it be the best investment in talent, retention, development, and most importantly, leaving your legacy? Now, I know this isn't easy. This is going against the grain. But think about it. Doesn't it make sense? Now, true, true. People that have had a few more years of experience and a few more battle wounds might be wiser because they have perspective. I'll tell you, I am much more wiser, and people do listen to me because of my experience. But I have learned from so many, my peers, people below me, people very, very senior to me, people that aren't even in my organization who care enough to share advice or insight from me. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what their age is. I am blind to that. I only look at them through the lens of their insight and wisdom. And I propose to you that if you want to leave a lasting impact on your team, in your organization, the best investment of time and energy is to think about how do we cultivate the future leaders, the current leaders, through a different lens. Mentorship, call it something else, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. But there is great value in an organization by retaining talent, by leveraging the insights of others, by cross-pollination, and building a collaborative workplace to eliminate the waste and make it lean. Yes, I told you there was a theme here, but think about it. Think about it. Think about mentorship through a different lens. It may be the legacy that you leave in your organization because ultimately people are going to grow because of it, because you took the leadership position to look at things a little bit different through a completely different lens, not via age, but via wisdom and insight. Now, I'll get back a little bit to curling. I may not have been able to curl with my early experience team this weekend, but through curating their talent and giving them that confidence that they could represent our club proud. I hope I've left a lasting impact on them and they will seek to take new curlers in the future to tournaments or what I call them bonspiels. I am grateful that maybe I have left my legacy with them. And now I turn to you. What is your legacy? Have you cultivated a nurturing environment through mentorship? And might I say, through a different lens that's not based on age, but based on wisdom? I do hope these insights are valuable to you and that you can take them back to your organization and start asking the question about what can you do differently. Again, this is supposed to be a do-it-yourself offer to you, and hopefully I've succeeded. A greater cause, a greater thing that you can do right now is if this really resonated with you and you think somebody else needs to hear this, please share this episode with at least one person so we can proliferate these ideas. And by the way, if this sounded easy, but you can't figure out exactly where to start, you need just a partner, that capacity, that capability, that confidence to be able to move such a thought, a different way of thinking forward. I'm here for you. I am here to be your partner. I am here to be your number two because I do care about your success. And so, with that, I want to thank you for joining me on another episode of the Drop In CEO podcast. I do hope this was valuable. And at the end of the day, I just want to see you succeed. And with that, I'll bring this to a close and wish you well. And again, much success. Take care.